Are you ready to participate in the interview with Praful Zaveri? We'll be talking about Indian chess school, therefore I guess it's going to be really interesting. What about that? In a moment we'll be having the guest, because chess in India is making the boom, if you can say that, and at the same time it's a good idea to have the guest from India to tell us about this boom. How it is possible that these players are emerging on the chess scene from India at top 20. They are more and more, and at this moment they have crossed 82 grandmasters. 82 grandmasters, imagine that many, right? I'm super happy to have our guest, and in a moment we'll be joining him in 1 minute. Strong talent and training methods. Yes, we'll be talking about these topics as well. Chess culture in India, Vishy Anand, and all of the methods, all of the traditional modern methods, how they get to that many sponsors and so on. Sagar Shah at the same time, this guy is pretty much very known as well. Therefore, it's going to be great. Okay, I am just disappearing and we are joining our friend. Thank you very much for being with us, guys. We are having our guest Praful Zaveri, and in a moment we'll be asking him about chess in India, about the chess system, chess culture, all of the stuff that we wanted to know from the beginning when we started, let's say, thinking about chess, because chess has the roots in India at the same time, and we'll be discussing all of the topics related to chess development, to thousands of ambitious chess players, especially as chess is pretty much very popular in India, and there is a chess boom at the same time. Therefore, thank you very much for accepting the invitation. How are you, my friend?
I'm fine, thank you, and thank you for the honor. It's great talking to you and connecting with you.
Okay, thank you very much for being with us. We are just having the introduction. After that, we're having the general discussion and general questions from, let's say, my list that I prepared. At the same time, if there will be interesting topic that will, let's say, pop up naturally, we can just get into this as well. And in the meantime, our audience, because I'm streaming at Twitch, are listening to us and watching us actually, and they can just get the questions. If the questions are relevant to our topics, I'll just put them from time to time. Is that okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. And I'll just briefly introduce you in a moment. I'll just give you the opportunity to expand it a little bit, but just briefly for our audience. Our friend Praful Zaveri has been awarded the following FIDE titles in recognition of his achievements in the field of training, arbitrating, organizing chess tournaments. And FIDE Instructor 2017, FIDE Arbiter 2018, FIDE Trainer 2020, and FIDE International Organizer 2021. And if you can expand on this, it would be really nice. Who are you? What do you do, let's say, in a chess community, and what are your, let's say, function, works, tasks, and so on?
Well, basically, I am from Mumbai in India. Mumbai is the financial capital of India, and I've been born and brought up here. And I run an academy by the name Indian Chess School. So I'm pretty much into chess training. You can say right since 1994, almost like 3 decades of chess training. And then in the year 2007, I decided to give the trainers' examination at Singapore and got the title of FIDE instructor. And prior to that, I started writing books on chess, and the one I authored in 1999 by, like it has got some divine blessings, that this book has sold more than 100,000 copies by the name Chess Course. I added another 6 books as a follow-up to the chess course, and basically they are workbooks. So they are volume 1 to 6, and they have been written over a period of time, with the last edition being in 2020. So these are some of my works, and yes, as a part of being a trainer, I also work as an arbiter in tournaments, and I also organize tournaments. Like organized 5 international grandmasters chess tournament in in Mumbai, and it includes like also one of the biggest junior event for children under 13, and like it is a prize fund of $10,000. So it's considered as one of the richest tournament for kids in the world.
Okay, thank you very much. It was a great introduction. And if you can get us a little bit into this, because we'll be having other questions as well, how you get started with chess? Who just taught you chess? Who just showed you the chess? And just gradually, how get you into this place that you're right now? Just some like in a chronological order
Okay,
with some kind of highlights.
fine then. So like basically, India is a like a what we say cricket crazy nation, and we used to play the game of cricket. And then, like when the sun used to set and we had nothing to do, so we used to, gather around. And then during that time, one of our very elderly person, we used to call him uncle, and he showed us that children, you should not waste time. I'm going to show you some, one of the wonderful game. And then he introduced this to the game of chess. So this was way back in 1978, and instantly like our group of friends, they fell into the love with this game, and that is how it all started. And then I played at intercollegiate and inter-university, and then yes, it gradually like it turned into a sort of like a period phase when I decided that I will have it as a profession too.
Okay, thank you very much. It is pretty impressive because we are just know that chess is a noble game and chess is a real game, but at the same time, if your uncle or grandpa, call it whatever, you just confirm that we are in the same, let's say, track. Okay, and now let's get into the chess as you just started. If you can give us your insight, what is chess to you and why chess is important to us general, globally? How do you see it from your perspective of the person who just devoted at least 40 years for chess?
Yeah, and so basically, like we all know the advantages of chess, and I've been teaching chess to children. And what I've seen is, like the remarkable power chess has to make a big difference. So, like we know that there are studies which shows that children who have taken to chess are doing amazingly well in academics. They are good in maths, and so yes, means these researches have found it to be true when I myself have taught, say, over 5,000 children over a period of 3 decades. And I feel, yes, chess has that power to change children's life. They are, in a better position to make decisions. Their thinking skills, their life skill gets developed with the taking of chess.
Okay, thank you very much. And now let's get into the next part, because if you know that chess is a real game, chess is an awesome game, chess is a very, let's say, interesting game and beneficial for our children, I guess you know probably because you are an Indian that the roots of chess are pretty much in Indian, sometimes in Chinese, some kind of Arab countries. There's a little bit of, let's say, dispute about historians, but if we can get a little bit into chess in India, what you know about it, how chess, let's say, started in India, what was this, let's say, all about, and how it just evolved into the, let's say, different type of game.
Yeah, so well, means when I wrote the book Chess Course, and I also had a bit, like a love for looking at the history of the game. And yes, means I read thoroughly. Basically, you can say the books by the great historians. And of course, like our culture says that chess has been invented in India beyond doubt. So, like we can say, the modern chess is attributed to India as well as in the medieval times when the game was known as Chaturanga. So we have the references of this game in the two great epics of India. One is called Ramayana. So Ramayana basically dates back to 7,500 years before before this era. And like it was means one of the greatest gods of Hindu date. It's known as Lord Ram, and it was during his time that it is said that the game was invented. The Lord was to fight a war against a demon named Ravan, and Ravan was on the verge of losing the war. This war was, engaged in Sri Lanka. What happened that the wife of King Ravan, she was very intelligent, and to keep up the morale of Ravan, it is said that she created the war through the game of chess. And this is how they say this is, the saying goes, or the epic goes, that this is the start of chess. And then we also have the references to this game around, 5,000 years back in another epic called Mahabharata, where, Lord Krishna also plays chess. And then it has also been very well documented. And then coming back to the modern era, the game of chess was invented, the modern chess, in 5th century AD, around 1,500 years back in central India. And basically, the Sanskrit name is Chaturanga. So Chaturanga, the word means, Chatur means four, and Anga means parts of the army. So you can see, like, it's basically a war game played with four armies. So like, it's basically, we can say, the foot soldiers, the soldiers riding on horseback, the soldiers riding on camel back, and the soldiers riding on elephant back, basically the chariots. And of course, there are the, like, the minister and the king to monitor it. And like, when the game went to Europe, yes, the minister got changed by a queen, so it became a feminine character. So this is how, yes, even the great historians like Ure Everback has been into India. His love for history of chess is well known, and he also has, like, beyond proved, means written beyond doubt, that yes, this game was invented in India.
Okay, thank you very much. And now we are getting into Indian chess school, Indian chess culture in general, not just your activity, because we'll be talking about a little bit later. But there are some different approaches. For example, there are Soviet school, Chinese school, and there is the Indian school, if I'm not mistaken. And how could you characterize this approach from Indian chess school, Indian chess culture in global? How do you, as the nation, approach to chess?
Well, in India, chess is, very much competitive, and parents take to chess. Of course, they realize the advantage of chess. But well, yes, like, Anand is the big motivating factor for everybody. Everybody wants to emulate Anand, and that is why you see, like, huge, means a huge number of children taking chess. And in the tournaments, you'll find, like, at any given point of time, 200 to 500 players taking part at one go. So you can say that yes, the game is, gaining by leaps and bounds. And after we organized the 44th Chess Olympiad last year at Chennai, the game, like, has received tremendous boost, and the number of players who wants to take chess, it's beyond imagination.
And if you can give us a little bit of, let's say, a differentiation on comparison between, for example, Soviet chess and Indian chess. What is the main focus in the education of chess? And like, what you are the most interested with, and what do you put the most emphasis?
I have basically, not been able to visit Russia, though I am, means connected with the Russian embassy, where we have our academy. But yes, we have seen the way it has been carried on, and we try to emulate them, the way, the training and everything. But I feel, yes, it is much more popular over there. And as regards taking chess to schools, we are still in the infancy stage. It will take some time, because like, being a huge country, it will take time to reach the nooks and corners of India. But yes, I feel it has got tremendous potential, and schools also have realized, yes, that chess will definitely help the children and their students in studies and other aspects of life. And that is why now they are embracing chess.
Okay, thank you very much. And we are just, let's say, slowly getting into the topic that probably is the most interesting for everybody, because I have been asked that many times from my audience about India, about Indian talents, Indian prodigy, that I promise them that whenever I'll be having the chance to have the guest from India to tell us about it, I'll just bring it as quickly as possible. And they force me to do it quicker. And therefore, chess talents in India, how they are discovered and supported. If you can give us a general overview, because in a moment we'll get into the, let's say, specific stars and superstars that are emerged on the chess scene, but in general, chess talents in India. How do you, let's say, took these talents, and how just nurture the talents, develop the talents, and how do you know which parts of the, let's say, education is the most important to have such talents?
Yes, as we say that, like, huge numbers are taking to chess, and obviously from the huge number we are going to get talent. So like what has happened in the we can take a period of last 7 and 8 years, when like talents have emerged basically in the southern part of India, that is Chennai. So we have like a Grandmaster Pragananda, and now Grandmaster Gukesh is rocking. He just stood third in the recently concluded Norway event. And then we have another Grandmaster Nihal Sarin, and of course there is Arjun Erigassi. So they all started, and Anand is the big motivating factor. I just read that he sees Gukesh as a very special talent, and he decided that yes, Anand runs one academy by name as Westbridge Chess Academy. It's known as Westbridge Anand Chess Academy, and basically it's for super talent. And what he has done, he has earmarked Grandmaster Gajeski for Gukesh, so that he is able to reach the pinnacle. So if we see the rating of Gukesh last year, it was something around 2644, and now it is touching 2759. So like a big jump in a year, which is like really commendable, and he is one of the, you can say, one of the future stars of the world.
Yeah, it's very, very impressive, by the way, and therefore it's pretty, let's say, in the meantime, let's say, asking about the talents in a moment, but you just mentioned many times, of course, I have this in my list as well, Vishy Anand, or Vishwanathan Anand, right? Chess legend, chess man, chess hero, if you can say that. And how much impact did Anand make into the country as the sport, as chess, and as popularization, and some like introducing chess into the broader scale? If you can get us a little bit of insight, how much Anand is valuable and important for you as the nation into the, let's say, spreading chess over the world?
Well, you can say Anand is an icon, and whatever the chess boom that we are seeing for a period of nearly 2 decades, it is simply because of his exploits in the world. He's out of a nation which is not known for chess, and his performance stood out, and is like a shining example. And as I said, that once he won the world championship, and again proved his dominance over a period of years, and everybody started like children, they want to emulate him. Is a wonderful human being. I have personally known him, and very humble, down to earth, and it's always like enriching to meet him, a pleasure to meet him, and the impressions he leaves on everybody. And he's got a recent role as a FIDE deputy president, and he wants to do much more for chess in India. And it is because of him we see means chess growing by leaps and bounds in India.
Okay, thank you very much. And now we'll get into the next part about the chess talent, because it's pretty important that we just, let's say, started. I mean, modern chess stars from India. Can you tell us a little bit about them? Some like the most important, let's say, skills they can possess, and how they are being coached, how they are being taught. So like, are there any special methods or special programs, maybe special sponsors, special funds that you can use that to put them that high into the chess scene?
Yeah, so basically you can see the stars have emerged in the southern states of India. So first, we can talk of the brother-sister duo of Pragananda and Vaishali. So Prag has demonstrated to everybody that what hard work can do. And Vaishali, his sister also, she's a big name in women's chess. And then after Pragananda, we got Grandmaster Nihal Sarin. He is from Kerala, and also one who had made a big impact. But then came Gukesh, and Gukesh was unlucky to be missing the title of getting being the world's youngest grandmaster. In fact, it was at my tournament, and he needed 1 point in that round, and he could not miss. He just could not win that round, and with it, the chance of becoming the youngest grandmaster of the world was lost. But as you can we all know how talented he is, and of course he received the right support, the right type of trainers, and then when further he crossed the benchmark of 2650, and then we found like he found the support from Anand, and now as I said, a new academy has come up by Anand. It's known as the Westbridge Anand Chess Academy. It's basically a privately funded academy wherein they look to hone the skills of superstars. So you find Gukesh, you find Ronak Sadhwani, and you find Nihal Sarin, Pragananda. All these are being groomed at Westbridge Anand Chess Academy. And this is how, means like there was a question mark that who would be the next after Anand, who is ready to take on the baton. But now we find that yes, there are 3-4 stars who are, as well ready to take the baton to, vie for the world championship.
Okay, thank you very much. And now let's get a little bit into the next component, because chess in India is pretty much popular, not just because Vishy Anand, because it is one of the driving force, but at the same time there are another people who get into this, let's say, chess community that popularize chess, and one of such star, if I can say that, is our friend from Chess-Based India, Sagar Shah. Can you tell us about him? Because he recently, if I remember, let's say correctly, reached 1,000 million subscribers on Twitch, right? Sorry, on YouTube. And therefore, it's pretty much fascinating that he just grew over the years. Because if I remember, he started probably 20 years ago, something like that, right? If you can give us a little bit insight into this, how much this guy put the chess into, let's say, your country.
So coincidentally, he is from my city, and he used to play my tournament when he was a young kid. A very passionate kid about chess, and of course his dream was to become a grandmaster, and his journey started well. He soon became an international master, but during that period of time also, he is also academically absolutely brilliant. He's a chartered accountant, so there are very few in the world who is a professional accountant. Chartered accountant means like it's one of the toughest course in India.
Wow.
And he has passed that examination, and is also an international master. And his mission to become a grandmaster was because he took over, means he founded Chess-Based India, and then growing by leaps and bounds, he goes on doing activity continuously. In fact, we leave apart the Chess-Based India part and the YouTube channel. Like even locally, he is doing a great service to the chess fraternity of Mumbai. There is one mall in Mumbai. It's called Phoenix Mall, and there he has started a chess club. And children and players, you can take any players, right? Not only children, but even adult. They come on Saturdays in huge number to have a great time at the chess club. And recently he organized a walk-in summer camp for anybody who wants to learn chess. And it was amazing, that in 15 days nearly 700 new players took to the game of chess.
Amazing.
And I was very fortunate that he called me on the last day to award prizes to the one who had really done well. So my book chess course was awarded to four players who were like absolutely novice before 15 days, but they started coming regularly to the Phoenix Chess Club. They solved the seats and did amazingly well. And you can say the love of Sagar Shah for chess is simply cannot be described in words. And I'm very fortunate that I know him personally. We are great friends, and he is, you can say, like instrumental, the person who has made India go global.
Thank you very much. And if we are talking about chess popularization and at the same time being a journalist, because Sagar Shah is a great journalist, we need to get into chess books and chess materials, because you just mentioned a few times your chess curriculum, your chess series of the books. If you can give us a little bit of insight of who are the most recognizable authors with the chess scene overall. Some like the authors who just publishes the chess books or chess articles in magazines that everybody should know. Some like from India. For example, one of such stars is Grandmaster Ramesh, right? Because he's the coach that
Yeah.
is pretty much important
Yes.
and very
Okay.
well recognized. But at the same time, there are some other Grandmasters. For example, they publish the, let's say, opening, manuals at Quality Chess, right? Some like Nihal Sarin and so on, right?
Yeah, so if we talk about basically means, do you mean like Indian authors who have
Yes,
doing
yes. Indian
something on
authors
chess? Yeah,
who just popularized chess with the sense of putting either
yeah.
articles, either books.
Okay. So like the first one that comes to mind is the first international master of India, Manuel Iran, is from the same city as of Anand, is from Chennai, and now he's well past his age, is nearly 80 years old. And he was the first one to, start a magazine by the name Chessmate, and it's still popular, running for more than 30 years. And then, lot of others started writing books on chess. We have Grandmaster Praveen Tipse from Mumbai, from my city. He wrote regularly in a lot of international chess magazines. Basically, also in the newspaper, like his column featured in one of the India's prominent newspaper for almost 30 years, the Times of India. So you can say like, yes, there are quite a good number of people who have done the Indian chess literature proud.
And if you can repeat the last name, but a little bit slower. Who was that? Because I didn't.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry. My apologies. Okay. So it was his grandmaster Praveen Thipse.
Pravin Tipsai. Okay.
Thipse, yeah. Thipsay. He's
Yeah.
from Mumbai, and he has won the Indian National Championship 7 times, and one of the greatest grandmasters of India. And in fact, like he was the first one to get a grandmaster norm well before Anand. But like Anand got the title first. So you can say that Grandmaster Praveen Thipse is one of the most respected Grandmaster in India. And of course, he is also former British champion when the event was allowed for others to participate. And he has, written n number of articles on chess. His column used to appear in the Times of India, one of the famous newspapers of India, the most selling newspaper of India. It ran successfully every week for I think almost you can say more than 20 years, and it in itself is a very big achievement. And then, as I said, the first international master from India, Manuel Aaron, is from Chennai, the same city as Anand, and he also has wrote a number of books. He has also written on the history of Indian chess and is very, very popular.
Okay.
And of course, Grandmaster Ramesh later on came out with his book on calculations, and that also did very, very well. It was New Inches publication, and it's like really an amazing book. Apart from that, yes, there are other grandmasters who have done chessable courses, so they too are like very, very popular.
Okay, thank you very much. And another question, I'll just give you, let's say, information to the chat. Another question that I would like to discuss is the idea about teaching, about education. We just get into this. And now, what are the traditional ways and methods to teach chess and to educate chess to masses? Traditional and traditional ways and methods. This one.
Okay, so like the method which we are following at Indian Chess School, basically like my book is used as a means we used it as a teaching tool. So like we explain the chapter to the students from the book, and the student also has the book in front of him. So like when a chapter is explained, they are required to write note down the answers in the workbooks that are there. So in this way, the training goes on. So we start, for example, say for an absolute beginner, and then my book basically like it's a 330 pages manual, which has right from like a introduction to chess and goes all the way till advanced level, something around 15 1600 kilo rating. So say like for example, we explain the first chapter, the origin of the game of chess, and we tell them about the history, that how chess, India is the birthplace of chess with a rich tradition. And then we went on, we go on to explain the basically the chessboard, that how many squares are there, and what is the orientation of the board. And then once this is taught, the children are asked to note down the answers in the workbooks that are provided to them. So like it is, we have a very good curriculum for students, and which is like very, very popular, and they are being followed by good number of coaches who are following my book as a curriculum, and they are also used for chess in school project.
Thank you very much. And now let's get into the modern ways and methods, because nowadays we have modern technologies, some like internet, computers, databases, engines, all of this stuff. If you can get us a little bit into how the modern tools and modern ways of teaching are into your country and into your, let's say, school as well.
Yeah. So like now everybody has, over a period of, you can say like a 1.5 decade, started using technology. So now the traditional demo boards have been replaced with projector and TV screens, huge TV screen. And we basically use ChessBase to train the students. So like a ChessBase, it's a big picture thinking. So whatever we show, it's on a huge screen, so like it becomes easy for children to understand it very quickly. Apart from that, it has also been, so online tool also has increased in training. So we now have a chess platform where we can give audio video lessons. So both these they supplement each other. So now we can say that means the traditional way of teaching through demo board is becoming less and less, and everybody is shifting to the modern methods of chess training via using chess base and technology, and sharing databases and the games and chess engines.
Okay, thank you very much. And now, if you just know about this, let's say, methods, ways, and all of the, let's say, general information about chess in India, I would like to ask you about some kind of estimation, because, for example, it may be difficult for us let's say, non-players that are not in India. What would be the estimation about population? How many players can play chess in India? If you can give some, like, a rough estimation. Do you have any data? Do you have about it?
Yeah, so if we want to say, like, if we talk about registered players in India, so at present, 100,000 number of players are registered, means a huge number who are federated. So, like, if we talk in terms of federated, maybe I think we have taken, I'm not sure, but yes, we have overtaken, I think, France in terms of number of rated players. I think you can check the last statistics, and that shows the sign that yes, it is growing. As regards number of grandmasters, we might be less as compared to say like Russia, but still we can say that yes, the number of players who are playing is huge. If we take the registered player 100,000, then my estimate is something around 500,000 players, of course, who might not be playing at high level, but yes, who like play at the school level and the district level and at the state level.
Therefore, 500,000 players that are overall registered, and there is
Overall,
not registered, correct?
yes.
Okay, thank you very much, because I was pretty curious and I couldn't find this information that easily. And by the way, I just put it into the chat that India has 1.4 billion of people right now, right? Some like the, let's say, the population. And another stuff that you just started, let's say, talking about, and I'm super grateful about it, because this is the not just popularization, but education, teaching the teams, collaboration, and all of the stuff that you just mentioned before. Indian Chess School, but this time about your company. If you can boost, if you can brag, if you can flex about all of the stuff that you do, because this way we'll know how it works. Because nowadays it's, as you just mentioned, the traditional and the modern tools, and you use it all of this. And as I just look at your website, this is all of this stuff very well presented. At the same time, I'm curious if you can give us, let's say, step by step, some like guide in your company about chess, let's say, Indian Chess School, how it operates.
We like have two types of training. One is the traditional type of training. So our academy is located in the consulate of Russian consulate. They have given us a big space, and like a lot of children come to the academy to learn chess. And apart from them, we are at you can say like around 3 schools, and we have academy at another 2 places. So in a way, yes, like a good number of children come to the academy to learn. We also host tournaments on regular basis, and good tournaments, including rating tournaments. So, like yes, our tournaments are very much favored. And as I said, we are also hosting one of the richest tournament for kids in the world, under 13 tournament. It has been going on for 7 years, and Anand is the patron of that event. Every year he comes to give prizes to these children. Of course, since last 2 years after pandemic, we have not been able to hold a grandmaster event. But in future, we hope to, like change that again, have the grandmaster event. And of course, training is our forte. So yes, like I can say that not of advanced level, but the foundation which we are able to put into the children is really good. So when they go into the advanced level, it like becomes very easy for them. So we find like a good number of children at the grassroots level coming at our academy to lunches.
Thank you very much. And if you can give us a little bit of insight about your team and about the people who are supporting you. For example, your team as a chess school, and at the same time, if you have some kind of branches in other cities, because most of the time it is the possibility to make this online. And for example, that coaches from another cities can teach the same program, right, the same curriculum over the country. If you can give us the
Yeah.
insight into this, would be
Okay.
great.
Okay, so Michael, like we have a team of around 6 trainers, and they all are very, very good. And as I said, but our forte is at the grassroots level, not at the high level. So we teach like a good number of children from basic to intermediate level, and only when they go to higher level, we recommend them to other coaches. So my team has 4 to 5 coaches. They are, like Sandesh Nagar Naik, Jagannathan, Raju, Chetan Matre, and there is one Shashank from Udaipur, there is Nilesh. So all these are very, very good trainers at the basic level. And as I said, apart from the 2 centers in the city, I also have one center at in the state of Rajasthan, which is like something around 1,000 kilometers from my place. So there a special project is going on. It is funded by a bank known as ICICI Bank of India, and they have like means are funding a project where chess is free for 100 selected children. And there like the training is round the year. The school has given a special subject for chess, and the children come to learn. These 100 children, they come to learn chess daily. So like we are targeting that if we like take a total number of training hours and then tournaments and then online assignment, we look forward to like they completing nearly 1,000 hours of training in a year.
Wow, amazing. And if you can give us a little bit of, let's say, insight how the, let's say, support from the government and from the local, let's say, government and overall is giving to you to make it more spread it. How it is some like supported that you are just doing something that is good, and maybe let's extend it, right? What are the, let's say, team of, let's say, people, team of government, non-government organization, how it supports chess overall from your, let's say, standpoint?
Okay, like we do not have that much government support, because like being a huge country, and there are a lot of other sports which are popular too. So it is like not possible to get something exclusive from chess. But yes, there are private sectors. There are sectors like banking and insurance which they regularly support the game of chess. There is now one private company, you must have heard of that. It's of course one of the global giant by name Mahindra and Mahindra. They produce cars, very famous Mahindra car, and they have floated a league, the Mahindra Global League. In fact, the auction for this were scheduled just like 3 days back, and you we have like divided into 6 teams, and that is pumping a huge amount of money. The Global League is scheduled at Dubai in another 10 days time. So we find a lot of private organization, they are supporting this game of chess. And because of this, we have like a lot of tournament. You can say like India has a federated tournament starting almost every day. You can say like more than 400 tournaments in a year. So this shows the popularity that there are private players who wants to support. Of course, the government support also does come in the form of, like when we have the Grandmaster event, they give funding for the Grandmaster event. So we have something around 8 to 10 Grandmaster event in a year where the government funding comes and players from abroad come. So it gives an opportunity for Indian players to earn their title norms.
Thank you very much. And if I can ask you about the coaching system, but especially about coaches, trainers, and educators. Do you have some like a national program or national curriculum that help the, let's say, people who are connected to chess to become instructor, coaches, or the trainers? And if yes, how it works?
Yeah, so in between, like you can say during the time of pandemic, we had floated a trainers program, and our aim was to like educate a good number of trainers, and that really worked well because at that point of list, like we trained nearly 1,500 trainers. So
Wow.
that was like the one of the biggest success of the All India Chess Federation. The training was online, and it was like in a batch of 40, and a good number of trainers they were assigned to teach this. So, for example, I was one of them. I was the first to start that lecture, and yes, gradually, like a lot of grandmasters took over this, and they helped in completing the program. So, at the end of nearly, you can say, a period of 3 months, we were able to train more than 1,500 trainers across the country, and it was really useful to them because they were able to get employment in schools. They were able to run their own academies, and they were like in great demand because of the chess in school program. So I feel this type of robust training helped India a lot, and we now look forward to replicate that training by continuing this program.
Excellent. To be honest, I am pretty much, let's say, shocked that you can just, let's say, have that many, let's say, trainers in this such short span. Because 3 months is super short, and you just mentioned
Yes.
1,000. I was like, Jesus Christ, it's a huge potential, right?
Huge potential, yes. And like you can say like it was the maximum batch was 40 trainers in one batch, and then like we found okay, a lot of everybody wanted because the program was very cheap. Like means if I remember correctly, it's basically it was a 5 day program, and we used to teach 30 hours in 5 days. So it was like 6 hours daily, followed by an examination, and the fee for this was you can translate that into euros, 1,500 Indian rupees. So you can say like roughly something around 20 euros for entire 5 days. So
Wow.
like the program was relatively very cheap. It helped a lot of trainers who could not afford high fees, and they were able to get the certification from the All India Chess Federation, which really helped them in getting their employment, and they were able to start their own academies. They used to do like their personal training.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. I'm super, let's say, happy that you are just making such initiatives because this way you just have more potential to bring more, let's say, chess to the students who may not have this access before, right?
Yes.
Okay, and another one of the questions, because we are just having the questions from the chat as well, is one of the questions from our friend Sebastian, and he asked about Olu chess improvement, because I know that you are mostly, let's say, working with children, but I guess with Olu chess improvement, probably you can support us as well, right?
Well,
Sound like
like
in a general way, at least.
yeah. So, like to be very honest, most of the academies, including mine, is oriented only for children, and there is not much scope for adult improvement. But yes, as I said that our friend Shagar Shah has come up with like a place where adult can also come. And as I said, he started a training for absolute. You say anybody wants to learn chess, and in during this 15 days time, a lot of adult came to his training. They were novices, they did not know anything about chess, and in this 15 days period they like you can say they become really good. And yes, maybe that is one of the contributing factor for adult chess. But apart from this, yes, they play in good number of tournaments, and it's more like a self-improvement.
Okay. And if I can ask you, because you just mentioned that you are just using the new tools and new technology as well, what is what is a good way to use engine to improve at chess? I mean, especially how to use chess engines to learn in an optimal way. If you can give us insight how it works in your academy.
Okay, so like yes, I am more of a like a traditional type of trainer. So I believe less in engines and rather would look to develop the natural intuition of a player. So as in again, as I said that like our training is not that much at a very high level. It is like more of a foundation where we look to groom the players, have a solid foundation, and go something until like it goes around like a rating 1200 to 1500, and when they cross this I cross the rating, I naturally hand them over to the trainers who are doing the advanced level of training. So basically at our academy we don't like means don't give that much emphasis to engines, but rather would like to develop the inner talent of like the children themselves. Means we empower them that you try to think in your own natural way rather than becoming a slave to an engine. And like when you sit in the actual game and you come up with something new, then you'll not be like you'll not be able to think out of way out of it. So that is why we believe that try to develop the game as naturally as possible.
Thank you very much. And in the meantime, if I'm not mistaken, there was one player who got into either international master, either grandmaster, not sure about that he had, let's say, no permission to use the chess engine. I mean, chess from Chess India. And therefore, it was pretty impressive that he was that strong because the coach told him no using engine at all unless you get into international master.
Yes. So like, yes, there are other, like very, very good coaches who believe that development should take place naturally. And that is why, they try to develop their, what we say, the skills they have. Of course, when we sit on the board, all these engines and they take a back seat. So I think it is natural that to a certain level, of course, engines are necessary when they go into very advanced stage of learning, like we say, where we reach a stage where like they cross 2500 or 2600, engines become very much a part of it. But I feel prior to that means like it is very good if they try to develop themselves naturally.
Okay, thank you very much. And at the same time, we have another question from our friend because he is pretty much into, let's say, chess. He's an old chess player, by the way. But at the same time, I would like to ask you about the specific question that he's pretty interested, and you must have it because you are just, let's say, coaching thousands of children literally over the span of this, let's say, time. And what would you say about, let's say, the approach for the player if he's too much thinking about the position? For example, he's that much into the position that sometimes he's forgetting about the time, right? He wants to get into the position so deeply that he completely forgets about the external world, and he's asking, is it a virtue or the defect in a player? How would you say that? Virtue or a defect?
Very tricky question.
Yeah.
And yeah, so well, it's like a very difficult to answer this question. Means rather it's like very difficult how to get a player out of his mold, where he like thinks more in terms of aesthetic. He wants to get into the heart of the position and forgetting about the other segment which are equally important. Say time is important as well as the position is important. Um, well, like not much of an conclusive answer from my part. Maybe it might look not that much, but yes, we try to like motivate the player that you see that both all these factors are not only the position, but even the time management is an important part, because unless you balance both of them together, you won't be able to like go ahead, and you will be stuck in a rut. Then you will find that after certain period of time it is as if you are stagnated and not moving ahead, and you're stuck. So rather than getting into such situation, it is better that you try to balance both, and then you see the enjoyment which comes with it. So like if you like you forget enjoyment of playing chess, your passion for chess, and you become something like, obsessed with one thing, then that would do no good.
Yeah, I guess so, and I have this opinion as well. And the question that Sebastian is interested as well, because we have the contact with children, and probably this question will be for you as well possible to answer. What is the difference or the main difference between coaching or educating or teaching children and adults? Because, for example, there is the different approach. Children learn different way, adults learn different. What is the biggest differences? If you can put us some like a list of few factors.
Yeah. So, like, yes, teaching children, of course, is most difficult, and even say when they are younger, it still means the level of teaching means teaching them becomes very difficult. And as compared to that, teaching adult is, of course, much easier, and because of their age, their maturity, it is like very easy to teach them. But well, like what happens in the teaching between the two, that yes, child has an ambition, he wants to do something well, he wants to play in the tournament, whereas that factor might be missing in teaching adult. So motivation is one of the biggest challenges for a coaches. Say if the student is he doesn't want to do something in chess, is learning chess more as a hobby. Like if you say in India, the children come to learn, they want to become Anand, they want to do something in chess, they play a lot of competitions. Like you find here, we in Mumbai have competition almost every Sundays, and you find like nearly 200, 300, 400 kids participating at a time. So everybody wants to do something in chess, which is not so in case of an adult. They would like more to do as a hobby, as a tool for enjoyment, and as a tool to do something useful. So that obviously is the only hitch when teaching a child and teaching an adult.
Okay, thank you very much. And this is pretty much one of the biggest, let's say, challenge for adults, because adults want to have the cake and eat the cake, right? So like something like a little bit impossible, because they want to become really good, but they do not have the time. They are adult, they have different obligations, and they do not know, and they probably cannot, let's say, understand how much work the children do to get pretty good. And at the same time, the children mind works a little bit different, because it's like a sponge, right? Adult, it's a little bit different because there are other, let's say, priorities, life goals, and so on, right? But children can get obsessed into chess, let's say, for 10 years, and they can become title players. With adults, if adults, let's say, start playing chess at the age of, let's say, 40, it is very much unlikely they become the title players. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is very much correct, and only like few exceptions, but otherwise yes, they like play more out of fun and more of like something to do, but not as a profession. Whereas for children, yes, like most of them take it as a like they carry on actively, play at various levels of tournament till the academics take over. So I feel that is the difference, that yes, adult teaching is not that much popular in India.
Okay, thank you very much. And one of the last part of the questions from the general, let's say, list is the question about what is the biggest joy to teach children chess. If you just start, let's say, getting into the room, into the virtual room or the physical room, and the children are gathering, and you want to start, let's say, teaching chess, or your friends, your team is just teaching chess, what you and they as the team are having the most joy, and what you do appreciate the most when you can teach children chess?
Yeah, so most important thing is like the bundle of energy they have, and like when we teach chess, and that energy which is there, it comes out of children, and it is like what we say, very much surprising the answer they we get from them.
Yeah.
So something really out of like, for example, say I had like was discussing one of the position from my book with the student, and it was like I was telling them, oh yes, this is the way like how black is able to win the game. And then like all of a sudden the student comes and tell me, sir, in fact there is a faster way to win. I can find a mate in 2 years. So
Wow.
that is like something which I said, oh, I had never seen this in my book,
Uh-huh.
and or I had never imagined this position. You see, means like that much what we say, the depth is there, and it is like so much what we say it gives a positive vibe. So much energy is there in the class, so it like everybody gets like electrified with this kind of energy going on in class.
We can say positive chess vibes and energy in the air, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
absolutely true.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. And you have the greeting, because I am just monitoring chat at the same time. You had a greeting with one of your students. Take notice, the student you just taught him when he was 7 years old, and now he's 18.
Oh.
And his nickname, I'm not sure if this is his real name, but his nickname on Twitch is Ajitesh Joshi. Ajitesh Joshi. I'm not sure if you can have some like...
Yes, I can remember Ajitesh Joshi. So, if my memory goes correctly, Ajitesh Joshi I was teaching him at Don Bosco High School. So, can you just ask him whether am I right or wrong?
He just confirmed. He just confirmed because he's listening to this, and he confirmed that you did that. And this is beautiful, right? Having such a
I'm very,
connection.
very, very happy, very privileged that he's there, and I feel honored, and I have to thank you for giving me a platform to express.
Yeah, it is amazing. At the same time, I will be just wrapping up in a moment, because I know in your country it's a little bit later than, let's say, European countries. But I would like to have just one or two more questions more. Is that okay?
No problem, please.
Okay.
Yes.
First question is about, let's say, having the passion to chess and having the power to bring chess, bring the values to chess, bring values to with chess games. And like, what are the qualities, what are the features that one should have or should develop to become a good coach, good chess instructor, or good, let's say, chess coach?
Yeah. So first of all, the passion to, passion as a chess player has to be there. So he should basically have, must have played at some level. And then, comes the second part that, there should be love for teaching. If, both these factors are there, then I think it makes a great coach. So you need to have some sort of background as a player. You must have been playing in your school days or in your college days, or you must have even gone up to a higher level. But apart from that, yes, that is, the playing part. As a player, you are successful. But then when it comes to, like teaching children, you need, of course, to be a, very good, a good motivator and the one who can explain things easily to children. So that passion for teaching also has to be there. When we combine both these factors of as a player and as a teacher, then, comes out a good trainer, a good instructor.
Okay, thank you very much. And the last question about, let's say, chess and chess community. What is your, let's say, perspective about chess, let's say, in the next 3 to 5 years? What do you think chess changed into the chess community, into chess online, into chess over the board? How chess world in global will become in, let's say, 3 to 5 years? Do you have any predictions and estimations?
Well, we all know the numbers by which chess is growing, leaps and bounds. But I feel yes, like online chess also has taken like a big leap into the traditional part of chess, because there are players who do not find the time over the board, and they like has got a platform to play online. So like in both these ways, the chess is growing. And of course, the traditional way, the purest way will always be there. And apart from that, the online community itself is growing by leaps and bounds. So it is like what we say, the chess, the future of chess is, like indeed very, very bright. And like it's what we say, one of the most sought after game, which, like helps everybody. And yes, it's really exciting.
Okay, thank you very much. And by the way, your student Ajitesh Joshi says that it is so amazing. I almost into tears now. You just put me into deep nostalgia. Of course, it is me that make this situation, but I just give you the platform to connect together.
Thank you very much, and my best wishes to Ajitesh Joshi, whatever he's doing in life. And yes, I'm very happy and privileged to like reconnect. And Thomas, you have been like the medium to which yes, I've been able to like make new friends and expand the horizons.
Yeah, and it will be wrapping up in a minute. Therefore, I would like to let's say tell you that he wants to share the information that he got into the IT Bombay engineering. Therefore, probably chess could help him to develop his potential.
Wow.
You should be proud.
Congratulations. That is an amazing, because that is one of the toughest courses to get into admission, and it shows that is absolutely brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, yes, as a chess player, you would have been also a very good chess player. And I think yes, because of chess, it has helped him. And I wish him all success in life.
Yeah, it was really impressive and amazing at the same time. And now, before we wrapping up, I would like to ask you about your reflections during this interview. Because many times, when I'm just giving the opportunity for, let's say, our guests to answer the questions, they have some like, oh, it was really nice, because this way I could just look at some of the, let's say, stuff in a different perspective, or some like start feeling some like the feelings that may not that much common. If you just have something that you would like to share with us, how you felt during this interview, during this rather discussion, because it was not technical interview, but some like a friendly discussion. What do you feel right now, and did you feel comfortable with this, all of this, let's say, questions?
Well, Thomas, it was like, absolutely what we say, super experience, and I enjoyed talking to you, and in general, and like you put me very good questions that shows your depth of knowledge. And yes, I'm like truly honored to be part of your interview, and I feel I've gained a lot with your insights into the subject we love.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
yeah, I'm pretty grateful as well. And in the meantime, I'll just share the secret why I wanted you to our interview. Can I?
Yes, please.
Because I knew that you are very passionate. Back then, I just saw, because you were probably in chess collectors groups as well, right? If I'm not mistaken. In Facebook.
Pardon?
In Facebook chess collectors group, right? You just
Yeah.
advertised your books, and I was like, okay, I'll be just looking at this guy. At some point when I will just have the more contacts,
Oh.
I'll just find him. And now I just have you, but it is not over. It's not over. I want that. I just promised actually my, let's say, amazing community that at some point I'll bring some like big guns, some like big stars, right? And to get to, let's say, into the Sagar Shah, I'll just tell Sagar Shah with the email that I'll just already, let's say, interview you. After that, I'll put this into the YouTube, put the link into this, and Sagar will be something like that. If Praful Zaveri was your guest, I'm yours immediately.
No, Sagar sir would be your guest too, and he's like very humble, and you definitely put him. I will also drop in a word that yes, the interview on your platform was really great, and something an experience to cherish it for a long time.
Yeah, of course I am a little half joking, but at the same time I love, let's say, chess that much that I want to share with our community the things and the people who are some like in the shadow, in the background, right? Because there are, of course, as the organizer, as the player, as the, let's say, instructor, that there are a lot of people, some like in the background, behind the curtains, right? That they are, let's say, supporting our community, but they do not have that many highlights, right? And therefore, sometimes putting such people into, let's say, broader audience, and some like, oh, these are the organizers, these are the trainers, these are the coaches, these are the people who are just making all of this together, is some like bringing our community better. Do you agree on that?
Yes, I agree with you. Yes, I think there are n number of people behind the scene who are doing a great community service, and it is like really wonderful if they get recognition.
Yeah, that's why I'm super grateful to have such people and more people, let's say, popping up in, let's say, our community at the same time. Therefore, I'm super grateful that you accepted the invitation and they shared all of your knowledge, all your experience. And at the same time, I guess Ajitesh Josh is proud of us as well.
Thank you very much, and really honored to be part of this program.
Okay, thank you very much, my friend, and have a good night, and have all
Thank
of the
you.
success on the board and off the board. Keep up the great work.
Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you. Bye.
take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.